Actually, you know, we're gonna go there because I gotta do my leg stuff.
Cool. Sounds good, boss.
I'm literally gonna do this whole workout.
What are you doing?
He's like the biggest.
Hey guys, once you come in, you can start asking questions right away. Johnny's gonna start doing some lag stuff here, I guess. Hello. What are you doing, Johnny? What are you doing?
You can ask me questions about it. Like, oh wait,
What questions?
anyone there?
Well, there is.
Did I ask the questions yet?
No.
It's fine. I'm gonna do some. I have to do my leg exercises for just strengthening everything around my hip because
Got a
I'm
crappy
gonna eventually have to
hip.
get freaking surgery, huh? It sucks.
What's the plan?
The plan is to walk this back and forth and then goblet squat it. Not this one. Just the goblet squats, but only to parallel.
Yo, Johnny, I got a couple questions to bother you with. Yep, let's hear them.
Of
I need
course.
some good overall band exercises while I'm in Rome. That's from Kim.
Is that Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. What up, Kim? Band exercises? All right, follow me. Ooh, that sucks. We don't got a thin one. So, yee. If you, one arm shoulder press, if you have the bands, like if you don't have a thin one, which I don't have, you can do one arm shoulder press like this and do like, you do like a neutral or like a little bit of a angle here. Just press up, controlling it down. The good thing is like right here, there's still a stretch. So you're getting a good stretch in the bottom too. So you can do those. You do bicep curls as well too. Right, and adjust it accordingly so you get the most amount of stretch at the bottom. You do triceps. You can do squats as well too. You do it like this, but it's really going to really affect most of the concentric anyway. But like squatting. You can do push-ups with these, but again, when you're doing bands, all it's going to really do is just affect the positive. So bands behind your back. Ugh. And then push-ups, right? If anything, I would get on some books, and then you get at least a stretch at the bottom, and then get the tension at the top. What else? What it?
I'm doing 2 sets of cable curls, triple drops for biceps at the end of my pull day. My bicep feels pretty done after that. Should I
No.
drop the drop sets and add another exercise for biceps? Is one exercise enough?
So how many sets?
He's doing 2 sets of triple drop, I think.
2 triple drop sets.
Yeah.
And that and then he does maybe another exercise.
No, he doesn't. He says, should I drop one of the drop sets?
Well, a couple things. I'm assuming that if you're doing a triple drop set, what's your rep range? So is it like a 10 to 15 type thing? And if it is, it's like thinking about you did 2 sets. That's almost like 3 sets. It could be good enough. And if you wanted to, if you feel like you're rested enough, you can do a little more. But I wouldn't do another like triple drop set or anything. I'll just do maybe just a straight set of maybe like a concentration curl or a single arm curl of some sort where you can just focus on one arm and then just do like a regular. I'll do that. If you're doing bilateral drop sets, I would do your second exercise and just do like a one arm preacher curl, cable curl, something that you like the most, and then just focus on the good stretch and straight sets.
Next one is, love the videos on how to build muscle. Question is about strength training, exercises, sets, reps, tempo, and routine. So what's your question?
Strength. Come up this way. Strength training?
Yeah.
You want us to do a routine for strength training?
I think so, yeah. Exercise, sets, reps, tempo, and routine.
All right, I'm assuming like an entire workout. So let's just say you're doing like a straight up, 5 days a week. We're doing chest tries, chest tries, back bis, legs, shoulders, and maybe like tries or bis. Then you're doing a arm day, or maybe shoulders and an arm day. Just say you're doing that. Here's it dry. I would say give yourself like maybe 2 to 3 exercises for each muscle group, and then keep your rep ranges around like I would say 5 to 7, 6 to 8. And then for me, it's not a traditional like strength phase because like most time it'll be like a 1 to 5 rep range. I'm giving you more so of your hypertrophy was a longer sets. This one is going to be like a controlled rep. So like your rep looks like this, 1001, boom, right? So it's just a controlled rep. Don't worry about the negative. Just think about controlling the negative and explosive positive. So I would say 3 exercises for each muscle group. And then, like I said, I would say 5 to 7 or 6 to 8, depending. So I would say if you're doing like, say like dumbbells, or like, I would say accessories, do like the 6 to 8. And if you're doing like, your compound movements, you're pressing, you're pulling, you're bent over rowing, all those things, I would say to keep it to like a 5 to 7. You can still do 6 to 8. I'm just kind of just putting numbers like that, but I would stick with that. 5 to 7, 6 to 8. So exercise each muscle group. And then like your a controlled rep, right? Like a 1 second negative, not even necessarily a positive bomb, just don't bounce. Just like a controlled here and then up.
What is the best chest exercise to build the biggest chest if you're skinny?
The best chest exercise?
Yeah, I would say the all-around best chest exercise.
The overall best exercise, I would say, if you're gonna really get your meat and potatoes out of it, fuck, I say meat and potatoes. I would say, like, for most part, I'm gonna say just because the majority of people don't have a really good developed top chest, I would say like a good third degree incline, if you can, a 30-degree camber bar press. If you don't have that, then a 30-degree dumbbell press where you're coming down here, and then we're getting a nice stretch to the bottom, and then squeezing up like that. I would say that.
How do I do belt squats without the belt digging into and bruising my hips?
That's a woman.
It's not.
It's not?
No.
Because most time,
I don't think so.
you're talking about like here?
I would say so, yeah.
Come on over here. Hey.
Okay.
So for the most part, when you're using these, get adjusted properly. Most of the time, why it's like digging someone's hip, it's kind of like this. Like get up high enough so it's sitting up here. Like you see my hip bones right here. And it depends on what kind of, belt squat you have, because you just might be SOL and have one that just has a really thin, rickety, belt. But I would say try to get it, make sure it's up on like the small, like where you see where it is on my back. So here, and that'll be easier for you here, right? So when you're going down, it's sitting here, right?
What would you do to target the middle chest?
Full range of motion. Full range of motion meaning all the way down, a squeeze, like a stretch, and then get all the way up and squeeze. Don't squeeze long. I would say just for like a second, just like a here and then a boom, come all the way down, stretch, boom, come all the way down like that.
Hey Johnny, so my question is, I have started doing hypertrophy training and I love it. My question is because I'm slowing down and everything and can't lift as much anymore. Should I worry?
You've been doing, say it one more time.
I started doing hypertrophy training and I love it. My question is because of slowing down and everything, I can't lift as much anymore. Should I worry?
What's slowing down? His gains?
I don't know if it's
His
gains or
progression?
life.
If you're constantly training and you're in your hypertrophy phase and you've been making progress and all of a sudden things are starting to slow down, I would say it's time for like a deload week and then maybe start a strength block where you can start to take the hypertrophy weight and put into a strength phase and use that weight to get stronger in that strength phase. Then when you go back to your hypertrophy phase, you'd have gained a little more strength, which will help you put a little more volume and weight up. If anything, it's extremely light.
Kim, yes, if you go on the website, you can head to the shop and there's a whole bunch of different options on there for merch. Everyone talks about an optimal number of sets per muscle group a week. On push day, if I do 3 working sets of flat bench and then 3 working sets of overhead press, how many sets or exercises do I still need to hit the triceps? Have I done 6 sets of triceps or 0?
You haven't done any sets of triceps because you're doing overhead press and press.
Yeah.
So when you talk about like muscle, like how many sets per muscle group, we mean specifically the ones that are the primary use of that exercise. So we can't say that I've done biceps because I've done pulls, right? Your bicep and your tricep are the secondary muscles that allow you to do the full range of motion. They shouldn't be the make or break of that exercise. So if you're trying to say like, how many sets should you do for chest, then I would say 3 to 12 sets of chest. Meaning if you did like 1 set of chest, then you could do like half that volume and be fine. How many exercises? 1 to 4. And again, how many movements does that muscle group actually do? So like the chest does like 1 to 3 things. You can do this, you can do this basically this way, and this way, and this way, and be perfectly fine. So like 2 presses and 1 accessory.
I have the hardest time trying to grow triceps. Any recommendations?
Train them hard, train them often. I would say triceps are something that you can definitely do 4 times a week, 2 to 4 times a week. Put them on your pressing days and then do 1, say, arm day, and you maybe put them on another day, spread them out, and then high volume and long sets. Sets.
You look great, dude.
Who said I look good?
Hunter.
Huh?
Hunter says you look great, dude.
Hunter?
Yeah.
What up, man?
Somebody says your swole ass gonna break that machine. How do you hit rear delts?
What? How do I hit my delts?
How do you hit rear delts?
Oh, rear delts. I'm like, how do we hit them?
Best ways, most efficient.
Do you need to show an exercise?
Guess so.
Let's walk it over. I'll give you my rest for this. So if we want to train rear delts, there's a couple ways we could do rear delts. My thing is, especially for rear delts, is like finding an exercise that is easy for you to connect with, where you can like do the exercise and not have to think so much and do it. So a few things we can do. Number 1, we can do a reverse pec deck. She's on this right now. 2, we can do, let's say you had 2 hands, right? We can do a couple ways. We can go from here, like this, where there's a stretch already, and then pulling back. You should probably go from the back, right?
Yeah, I know.
There you go.
Thank you.
So from here, I'm gonna stretch already. Then I wanna come here and pull. We can do this way. We can heighten it a little bit and we can pull down because we get a lot more contraction at the peak here, right? Far away from it, and then here, and pull. We do the same thing with 2 hands if we wanted to. We're doing this. You can basically do face pulls.
Sorry, Mason.
I'm just being that guy. Key and Joey Swole, you can do better. It's like Joey. The man just walked in front of it 17 times. Give me a break, Joey. We can do face pulls. If it's on a straight, if it's like kind of level with us, we're hitting a lot more rear delt. We're hitting rear delt regardless. But if we're doing it this way and pulling here, all the way out and all the way in, if you do them lower, we're still hitting the rear delts, but now we're adding traps because we're pulling up, all the way out and up. And if we put them really high, we're still doing rear delts, but we're doing a lot more. We're getting some lats in it because we have to pull it low, right? So best case is like, I would say have it either like, you know, level, like shoulder height, or a little bit lower, and we can work the rear delt and the traps. And make sure we get fully protracted because we want to have the delt at its lengthened. Best we can when we're pulling out either here, here. We can also do dumbbells. I would say reverse dumbbell, seated, bent over, or chest support dumbbells are easy. Come this way. I'll go over there.
Okay.
Why'd I grab the 20s? Stupid. You guys heard me say that too. Grab a weight that you can actually control, but you want to get the most out of it. So you don't want to grab a weight where you literally are trying to use your traps to do everything. So I like doing, if I'm using dumbbells, I like doing chest support like this. And then we can go back a little more, or we can go out. Right? You can even go side if you want to as well. But the main thing is getting a weight, and you want to like paint the sides of the wall. You want to feel like anywhere you go, are they doing like laterals, reverse? You want to reach as far as you can. You don't want to like pull yourself in and do this. Like reach everything out as far as you can when you're going. So, you know, like that. Cool.
I don't usually designate my workouts between push-pull days, but should I be? Is it more optimal to separate the exercises for a day each or mix them up?
The reason why we kind of put like a push-pull is so, give me a bunch of fanny here. Is so we can give our muscle groups a little bit of a break in between. So I wouldn't do like, you say like a chest day and then do shoulders the next day because I'm using a lot of shoulders with my chest, right? I'm using shoulders in some way, shape, or form, and triceps as well too. So I want to, you know, put something in between so I can rest a bit. So it doesn't have to be a push day. It could be, again, when it comes to splits, your split's going to be what you're, you know, what you can actually do, like what you can actually commit to in the gym, and then what your split is will be based on what you're trying to achieve in terms of your goals. So if like chest is a day that is something that you need to work on, then I'm putting my chest day at the beginning of the week. If it's back, I'm putting back day at the beginning of the week. My back day might be my first day. It might be a pull, then a legs, then a push. It doesn't have to be push-pull legs.
Every time I hit rear delts, my rear delts are invisible once I get home. What am I doing wrong?
They're invisible?
Yeah.
Well, what's that? What? Okay, so you
said-
telling me that when you do rear delts, you do them, did he say he does them good? He works
He
them hard?
didn't say he did them good. He just said every time he hits rear delts, his rear delts are invisible again once I get home. What am I doing wrong?
Okay, I would expect someone to say that. That's like my pump is so nasty that it's so full and I can't see definition anymore, and that's why I can't see it. So
I think that's it.
I don't know how to, like, if you don't have rear delts to see to begin with, one exercise or one day isn't going to make them show up. And I would assume if you work your rear delts so good and they got such a pump, that's kind of like a good goal. I can't see the definition of my rear delts because it's just full of blood. And that usually happens when you see like, you know, leaner guys that do like a quad day. Like I used to, when I wasn't during prep, and I do like anything really. and I do like say like quads mostly, and my legs are separated, and then I would do a leg day and my quads would kill me, and I go and flex in the mirror, I won't be able to see the definition much because it's full of blood. So that might be a good thing. So maybe he messages us back and says he's training really hard too.
For the strength training, what percentage are you lifting with based off of a 1 rep max?
In strength training,
Yeah.
you're looking at like that like over 85% of 1 rep max. So like hypertrophy is like that 30 to like 85%. I would say if you're trying to really make proper progress, I would stick with like that 60 to 85 or even 75% of 1 rep max. Your strength is going to be like somewhere between like 95% of your 1 rep max, right? Because you're lifting, you know, because of that, your reps will be faster and shorter.
Is he doing sled pulls for knees?
Yes, and hips a bit. Now I'll tell you how I'm doing this for hips. So there's a lot of obviously knee here. It's strengthening. Number one, I don't have an ACL. I haven't had one since 2009. That's when he left me. Football game back in the day. Poke eye, joking. Never mind. Anyway, so for me, yes, I want to keep my knees strong, but also flexing my glute. So right now, because of my poor labrum, I can get down from here. It's pretty much sucks really bad on this side, right? So I can only really, that sucks. So for me, my range of motion for my hip, it doesn't hurt here. So I can keep it kind of loaded a bit because I am going to work glute. So when I'm doing this, instead of kind of like just doing this and like stretching out this, which is not bad at all, I like keeping my hips down like if I was doing a back pedal for football, and I'm more like this, and then I'm pushing my foot in, my toe in. That's going to create a little more activation here, and then I'm going to pull over top of it, right? And I go from here, toe, right to heel. And I get in that range where it doesn't hurt my hip, because right now I can feel a really good activation in my quad and my hip, and then try and keep it consistent. So I just strengthen this and this, because eventually when I do get surgery, I'm not going to want to sit around with a crutch or a cane or I don't know how it looks, but I want to be able to, you know, recover faster, and the surrounding muscle groups, when they're stronger going into surgery, it's a faster recovery post-op.
Will we ever see you compete in anything again? If so, I'm going to show up with the poster.
Possibly the Master Olympia next year. I'm pretty sure, last time I talked to the president of the Masters, it's supposed to be in Vegas next year, and I have a bye to the competition because I placed top 5. So I don't have to compete to, you know, qualify, which is great. So yeah, possibly.
When I bench and do any chest press, it feels great. Whenever I try and do cable or pec fly, my shoulder hurts. Any tips?
So be careful in how far you go back. I see a lot of times that, you know, when we're getting, let's go. Let's go. So, who's here? All right, sucks. Well, I'll show on this, the same thing. This is an old school pec deck machine. Oldest of oldest schools, but it's absolutely dope. Now, the same mistake people make on this, they make on cables. All right, so we have kind of like this thing where my arms are like just straight. And then not only do we have it come back like this to protect ourselves, our body kind of does this. So right now I feel a lot of this in my front delt, and not in a good way, right? So I want to keep a level of flexion in my elbows that keeps a load off of my shoulders, not as much, because I want it's how far back I can get my arms here, and then my chest staying up. And that's where you want to look here when you're doing flies. regardless if you're doing them on the cable or not. Does that cable exist right now? It does. Here.
Well,
Actually, you're gonna have to move because it's really close.
I know, but it's gonna be super dark. I'll try and go from the side.
So when you're doing these, guys, so we're here. We don't want to be like this. A lot of times we get this thing, the elbows are down, and he's pulling your delt. You want to get elbows up over top. So I'm over top here, and I'm pulling this way. And then my elbows are coming back, but I'm not having them out this far. And my traps are like this. So remember, shoulders back and away from the ears, chest is up. Bring those arms in slightly. And then elbows are going to be internal rotate a little bit to keep yourself leaner instead of being like this. You want to be like this, and then we're pressing away. We're opening up, stretching, and then pressing, not hugging. Don't hug. You want to be from here, and we want to press it away, open up, and press it away.
Hi, Ryu.
Can hear you.
Congrats on your client at the show, Johnny.
Thank you. The DJ?
No, it was Kim Tols.
Oh, Kim. What up, Kim?
I'm a 51 male, 5'10", 190 pounds. So I'm somewhat active and do limited calisthenics like body weight, squats, resistance bands, etc. I'm looking to just keep up some mass. Do you have any all-round, no cardio set?
Keep up some what? Sorry?
Keep up some mass.
Oh.
So he's wondering what he can do to keep up some mass because he's doing more like calisthenic body weight stuff with resistance bands.
Eat.
There you go.
Eat to be honest, like if you're only doing, let's say you've got to the, you achieve your physical goal, your physique goals by doing calisthenics, and you like the look you have and you don't want to lose mass. Well, it's just about maintaining and making sure you're eating enough food, right? So that's the biggest thing. And then again, let's just say that you reach, when you do calisthenics, you're gonna reach your peak. Because when you're doing your own body weight, say it's like a pull-up, for instance. Most people can't do pull-ups. By the time they can actually do a pull-up, the only thing to do more is actually add more reps or add more weight. So if you're not adding more weight, then we have to add more reps. So those innately will increase volume. But if we're trying not to lose any of that mass that we've built, then it's about fueling your body to make sure we don't lose any of the mass. So if you do calisthenics and you start eating less food, you're gonna lose, right?
How much is a 1 hour meeting with you, Johnny and Erica? Thanks for reading these. You're so welcome, Brett.
$130 for an hour.
Perfect. Can you show?
She said $129.97.
$129.97. Can you show the best exercise for rear delts? I feel like we did that since then.
The best exercise? No, I showed them a bunch of exercises. The best exercise for rear delts?
The best exercise. You want to do a set?
I'll do a set here for the best exercise for rear delts. Like sometimes, here's the thing. One thing that kind of sucks. Sometimes the best exercise for rear delts is a machine you might not have. I have some different. We have a lot of good machines here that we can use for rear delts, but I'll show you some after this.
We are at Fitness FX.
Fitness FX in Halifax, Nova Scotia. Mm-hmm. Come in the area and get coached.
Hello, whenever I do dumbbell shoulder presses, I get a crunch sound from my clavicle bone on the right side, just above the sternum. I get it too when I do dumbbell bench presses. How do I fix this?
I can't answer that. He can't answer that fast enough, but if it doesn't hurt, like if you're not feeling any pain at all, it's just something that happens. Like everyone has like crackling bones. Sometimes just like air between the socket. That kind of just, pops. But if it's something where it's like grinding and then you're hurting, it's affecting your workout, it's acute, then don't try to fix it. Go get it checked. Go get assessed first and then go from there.
Lots of people saying hello.
What's up,
I just want to say I love you, fam. Appreciate your knowledge and thank you, thank you.
Love you guys.
1 second. Fake natty. No, not here.
Actually, let's.
Right, we're gonna do this. We're gonna show you guys the best rear delt exercise right
The
now.
best rear delt exercise?
Yeah.
Damn it, he's on it.
Kick him off, Mason. Which way are you gonna go?
So, I'm gonna do this standing because you can do it seated. I find doing it seated is a little better. I'm doing standing so I don't feel like running and grabbing a bench. But what in the? We good, we good. I do.
Johnny, while you're doing this, can you remind? Oh my God.
Anyway,
Can you?
let's just pretend
Okay.
we have two cables. I'm gonna bend over like this. Have them both cross, and I'm here, and I'm in a flat back position, so I'm not roll like this. That's why I like being on a bench. So most people sometimes can't literally just do this, but I want to be here, and then pulling out, stretching underneath, and then pulling out. That for me is one of my favorite to do. Or same thing, and then just kind of come on an angle, so you get a little more activation at the top of the range. But if you get a bench, same thing. Lay on the bench, put it up high enough. You can sit on it flat, and hands from here, and across.
Can you remind people how long you've been off of steroids and how long you did them for?
Someone asked that?
Yeah.
Can you hear?
I can hear.
Can you hear good here?
I can hear okay in here. I don't know if they can hear okay in here.
All right.
You want to go back over?
So I've been off steroids since October 2021. I mean, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do a video on this, and it's pretty funny actually. It's not funny, it's serious, but kind of funny. I was thinking about the similarities of being born into wealth and then being born with good genetics. So here's my analogy, and this might ruin the entire video, but here's how it works. I was watching this video the other day on, I think Dr. Mike did a video on him, on the dude that's spending millions of dollars to try and cheat death, basically stay and live as long as he can. Guy's I think he's late 40s maybe, or maybe early 50s, and I'm like, I look way better than this guy, and I'm not doing any of that stuff. I don't have millions of dollars to do that. But then I made me think, for me, when I started really competing, not probably until the last, I'll say 5 years, that I really started thinking about genetics. Actually 6 years, so I was always thinking about that with my kid. And then bought it on YouTube, or talking about genetics, this, that, and the other. When you're born into wealth, wealthy, anyone here probably who knows somebody that's really, really wealthy, has a lot of money. And the difference between people who are extremely wealthy, grew into it, don't really show it. They probably hang out with people who have a lot of money, and it's just something normal. Those who just maybe started getting more money will kind of tell you about it and whatnot. So the same idea when it comes to someone who has genetics, right? I didn't know I had good genetics. Everyone I hung around with were right now, the guys, my close friends are now retired NFL, MLB, NHL, legit. And so I was around a lot of people who had really good genetics. Then I was looking at my pictures. I have pictures I'm going to show us in my video, but I have pictures of my aunts. There's 4 pictures of my aunts. And I asked one of my friends, tell me how old people are. And they're probably 60 something. I'm like, they're all in their 80s. This was 3 years ago. So my entire family, I was born into a really wealthy, genetically gifted family. And I didn't really notice that as much until I've been off really for the last 3 years. Because I'm as much as I'm not doing anything anymore, literally, I'm not doing, not only am I not training taking steroids, but I'm also not training as I was before either. So I'm able to still look like this. Everyone go to my Instagram page. I did a post where I have a picture of myself when I was 21 and now 41. I just turned 41 this weekend, right? So it's like, yeah, there's people who can actually look fairly good at this age and growing older, right? Now, I would see some people be like, oh, there's another, what do you call that guy? Mike O'Hearn. It's like, look, I got good genetics, but I don't got like stage ready, like lean peel genetics. Like that's not even real genetics. It's just like, I'm on the sauce and I'm just, right? So for me, I never thought about genetics as being something until I would say more so recently in the last, I would say 6 years. But I never thought about it before because that's something that I've been born into. It's everyone around me had good genetics. My family had good genetics, my friends had good genetics. And then you get older and you're like, holy shit, I'm in my 40s. I always said this too. If you want to know someone has really good genetics, look at them when they're younger, like ages like 1 to like 6, whatever. And then look at them when they're older and that, they're my age or getting older. How well they still put together, right? Everyone should do pretty well between like 10 and 30. Like, let's be serious. Yeah. So it's I'll still get the people like, you're not on steroids, you liar. Yeah. I'm like, all right, cool, thanks.
So how do you deal with sluggishness, laziness while bulking? I'm 6'4", up to 260, but the weight is taxing on the body. Dealing with sluggishness and like feeling lazy while you're bulking.
While you're bulking? Stop bulking.
No.
Stop bulking. Like you're, why, like, I should say,
bulk?
I say like stop bulking, but it's like, if your bulking is making you feel sluggish. And I remember me when I was bulking bodybuilding and I felt sluggish. But like, I was also a professional bodybuilder trying to get on the Olympia stage. And it's like, if you're not that, and you just want to look better, it's like your bulk needs to be something done on a like slowly. It doesn't have to be like, oh my God, I've put on this much weight, now I'm feeling sluggish. You should be bulking in a way that your body can adjust to each size that you get, right? So if you put on like 2 pounds, your body is, it's acclimated to 2 pounds, not like it's a shock and you're just feeling like, oh my God, every pound you put on, you feel like you're tired.
Okay. My bad here. I just scrolled too far. Sorry. The best programming for hypertrophy if you only have 4 days in a row per week. Literally no time the other 3 days.
That's easy. You could do a 4-day split.
Which would be?
4-day split. You could do a push, pull, legs, push. So you could basically do like chest back. You can do chest, tries, back, bis, or do chest, bis, back, tries, legs, and then shoulders and arms. Like, you do a shoulder exercises, then do like, say like a bicep and a tricep on that day. There's 4 days right there. You can do the same thing if you did, say you could do push, pull, legs in 4 days. You do chest and back on the same day. You do a superset, right? You do a chest exercise, back exercise, chest exercise, back exercise, then you bi, tri, and then you do your legs, and then you do the next day you do your other push day will be like shoulders and back, and then bis, tris, and then another leg day. I programmed those 2 ways. I'm actually making this program, that one I just said, I'm doing this one and putting it into the school group. So if you want free all of the things that I have for $25 a month, get your ass in the school group. It's all the questions you're asking me right now, get answered in there. Plus you get all my assets that I make before everybody else and not have to pay the money that I charge everybody else. So let's just say the 3 and 4 and 5 day split is only $9. Well, that's $30 right there to get all of them. They're $25 a month, and you get all the new ones that I create, plus Q&A every weekend, and answer all your questions, plus videos inside, coach up your stuff,
What can I do for losing belly fat? I do have a herniated disc with lower back pain. Fix your hair.
So hold on a sec. You got a herniated disc?
Herniated disc.
And wants to do leg exercises?
No, it says, what can I do for losing belly fat? I do have herniated disc with lower back pain.
Okay, so a couple things, and this is just being straight up, right? We don't need to do anything to lose belly, we don't have to work out to lose belly fat, right? So if anything, herniated disc guy will be doing exercise to help strengthen your core, but you can lose that belly fat by just making sure you're in a deficit, lose some body fat, and make sure you're maybe doing some walking, some light activities on your feet. And you'll lose fat. Like you don't have to do something extreme You don't have to exercise to lose body fat on your, I mean, you don't have to do resistance training to lose body fat.
Johnny, I seen a recent podcast you were in. You mentioned that the safest route to take to use gear is TRT and 20 milligrams of Anavar, correct?
Yes.
Hello, when squatting, I get lateral pain under my kneecap. Also, I can feel popping in the knee.
I would go get imaging done. Get it done before something actually shitty is happening, right? Like, don't play with that. Don't think, no days off, and then you cannot train anymore because what was probably minor ends up being something major. So I would make sure that go get go to physio. I know insurance and stuff is pretty tricky in the States. I mean, I'll have coverage and I got to pay every one of my sessions. Actually, kind of do have coverage, but either way. Go get some imaging done.
Johnny, have you heard about Anatoly? A collaboration would be dope. I don't know
Who?
Anatoly?
Oh,
Anatoly?
yeah.
Anatoly?
I know what you're talking about. I think I know who he is. Is
I'll
that the
look
guy
into
who the guy who fakes like he's janitor and just out deadlifts everybody?
Figure that out later.
I'm pretty sure it is. Or it's a black guy that everyone says that everyone does not think he's natural.
Novocaine, if it hurts a tiny bit, then I would go get it looked at or see somebody for
Probably.
the person who is having hurting in their, like the popping.
Yeah.
Yeah, if it
Somebody
hurts,
answer that.
get it looked at.
Yeah, talk louder.
Sorry. I can squat full range of motion without lower back pain, but when I leg press, my lower back flares up. Any tips?
We'll do that in a sec because I can promise you, you're probably letting your back come off the bottom of the bench. So I'll show you that right when I get through doing this, because that's what we're gonna try and do next. So we're gonna have to move that fan. But, so just getting you an idea, I'm doing this because the range from here, being in this position, doesn't hurt my hip. If I try and go lower, like this leg can go this low, this other one ain't going that low. So I gotta keep it here and use my toe and drive from here. And I'm flexing all the way through.
Do you have any favorite program or exercise for strengthening your hip flexors?
Oof,
That's the worst.
I do. Let me show the leg press first, because I'm doing those next actually.
Perfect.
Whew. I like this whole little. All right, guys, it's gonna be pretty loud
Pretty
here.
loud.
So my bad. When you're
If
doing
it's,
leg,
if it's too loud, guys, just let me know. I'm gonna scroll to the very bottom of the comments.
if you're doing leg press, for the most part, right, your range of motion is as low as you can go. Oh. So like, see my butt still on? If I go lower, my butt comes off, right? If we're doing this, like I'm bottomed out. So my flexibility and mobility is pretty good here. But if I go down, so to speak, and then my butt starts kind of like doing this, right? That's why your back's probably hurting. So you want to make sure you keep, this stays on no matter what. So as low as your range is, right? You only go as low as you can maintain your butt on the bench. If you want to, you can literally get like a, almost like a block and put it underneath your butt. And that would help.
All right. Now hip flexor strengthening.
All right. So we did a bunch of these in football and in here. So a couple things you want to do when you start. Before you get too crazy, I would say start on the elbow first. So, well, first you can do it this way and start here, just to start the hip this way. Level up from that, it'll be here. And this way, level up from that, it'll be here. And then this way as well too. Level from that would be like on a, like elevated on a BOSU ball. It just makes things a little harder. It's not working for, it just takes the a little bit of the mobility, but the stability away. So you're really working your core to keep things engaged, which makes this a lot harder here. You can do it without the BOSU ball, but I like doing it with there just to challenge it. Can you do it without it? You can do it literally on that if you wanted to, just elevating a little bit more. Then, say the other side. Then again, start this way. Then we do these. Our legs stay straight, right? And we're doing this, that hurts, right? Then we can go from there to elbow, to hands, same thing. You can do the same thing, but let's just do this. Let's just say you're like this instead. So we're here, then we have a greater range for the leg. Those, both legs. Let me do some hips. So from here, right, we're gonna take the leg from here, right? We're gonna kick your butt up from here. This is a hard ass one. They're gonna let it fall all the way out, keeping that knee straight on the front. So go to the front.
Oh, sorry.
Right, so I don't want this happening. I want my feet under my butt. One foot's gonna stay straight up. We're gonna push the hips up. Shoulder blades on the ground. Hands out for stability. Then we're gonna push this leg out all the way down while keeping that knee over top of that toe still. And then bring it back in, and doing that without letting your hips go down like this. And then another one which is freaking hard. Would be, go this way. So what we want to do is we want to keep this leg flush on here. Shout out to Phil Dura for showing me this. Dura.
Yeah.
And foot comes all the way up, 9 degrees. Then out like Cat Morgan's all the way out. And then we internally rotate. Right, so my hip's coming off, hip stays here. Then we're bringing it back to Cat Morgan, to the front, and then straight out, and then down. So do that again. So it's up, all the way, like you're gonna hold yourself on here. Then it's out, Cat Morgan, keep your knee up still, keep us up, internally rotate, right? While keeping the hips on here, and then back to Cat Morgan, back to the front, then straight out, and then in. Like try and doing like 5 of those each leg and each side. Dangerous. So try those ones to start.
To start. What's the effective way to progress my weighted dips?
The effective way to progressive load it. So start on weighted dips.
Yeah. Add weight.
Same as you would with anything else, really. I mean, like for anything, like give yourself a rep range and give yourself some good measurables, so you can go by that and be consistent. So let's just say like you're doing a set of 8 to 10 reps, right? Your 8 to 10 reps are like, I don't have dips here, but let's say they're like this, 2, 3, stretch, and then up. And all your reps look like that. And you're doing that with whatever weight you're using. As soon as you get to your 10, and you can do like 11, then you add like 5 pounds, right? And then do the same thing again, back and forth.
Yes, those are barefoot shoes. Happy belated birthday.
Appreciate it, thank you. I had a really good birthday, by the way.
What was the name of the TV series you recently did?
It's called The Trades. It's on Crave TV in Canada. If you guys are interested in, what's that stuff called? Streaming TV? Send me a DM. Hook it up.
Hey Johnny, do you suggest to be okay to train the same muscle after a few days, even if it's still sore in that muscle?
Like it's a yes and a no for me. It's like I've had days. Even to now I've had I went in one time and then like it has been a long time since I've trained back hard, or better yet, I went wakeboarding on the weekend and my lats are just screaming. Right? I can still train them because it's not like it's affecting my strength. But there's also that time when like you're not recovered and like you just don't feel good, right? So I'll kind of judge I'll judge it, right? If you're a little sore Like I would say judge it compared to the day, the max soreness. So like say the highest of the soreness on the first time was 10. If you're at like a 5 or even a 6 even, I'd go train.
No. And it is the guy, the guy who pretends to be a janitor. That is the guy.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah. Best recommendation for a creatine brand?
Blue Star Nutraceuticals, Createch. Actually, straight up monohydrate, Creapure, it's the best shit ever. It's a great monohydrate. Go to my site, go to the link in the description below. Grab some, discounted as well too.
How do I know if upper chest is underdeveloped, and how low body fat percentage before you see muscle separation, as in chest versus rib cage or shoulder versus arm?
How do we tell if it's underdeveloped?
Yeah.
You can, so like a couple things you can see, and this is like straight up from bodybuilding. When you like from the side, if there's a dip like here, like your front delt, if you look at my front delt, this is going like this from here to here, right? Front delt is this, and then my chest is like kind of like, it's kind of there, right? If you see a massive like dip between here and here, and like even coming straight into this part as well too, then it's kind of underdeveloped, and you can just basically just train as much as you can.
There we go. Cable is, okay, what's better, cable curls or spider curls?
If you're doing spider curls the same way you're doing cable curls, like you could do spider curls using the cables. I would say cable just because you can keep constant tension, but also spider curls are great because just, you're getting a lot of stretch at the bottom, but you're not, the biggest stretch comes from you being able to kind of, your arm like doing this. So if you can stretch back here, like when you're doing a spider curl, your arm's in front. So there isn't much of this happening, like this stretch doesn't happen here. So the only stretch you're getting is from the weight pointing this way. So to be honest, like, it's just, you're gonna have tension from the cable pulling when the dumbbells kind of just be there pulling. But again, I don't even know how to set up a spider curl. So if you're saying the same exercise, I would say cables, but there's other exercises that are better than spider curls that you could do with cables.
What's the diet? What are you currently eating?
This morning I had, sorry, some TV's on TV. This morning I had a pack of cream of wheat mixed with a scoop and a half of Blue Star's Iso Smooth with 2 tablespoons of almond butter, and then that was my breakfast. My second meal was an actual shake because I was just rushing to get here, so another shake again, but like protein. And then I had 2 tablespoons of almond butter, and then a bunch of strawberries and 1% milk. My meal when I get home will be about 180 grams of chicken thigh, and asparagus, because I love asparagus as we have at home. And then dinner tonight will be whatever Selena wants, basically. Something like pasta or something, or tomorrow, Taco Tuesdays tomorrow. But it'll be some kind of like a pasta or she loves the chicken I make, so it'll be like chicken or baked broccoli and rice or potatoes.
How big were you before, and how big are you now? And have you downsized for longevity?
Yeah, I was, so 3 years ago, when I came off, I was 255. I weigh 210 pounds right now. When I was competing in the open class, I'd walk around off season around 265, 270, and then I'd diet down to like 230 on stage. The last time I competed, I was 211 on stage. I was dieting down from 225. So now I'm at the small. So right now, if I went on a diet and got like as shredded as I possibly could, I'd be in the 190s for sure. So I've lost a considerable amount of weight, and I did drop calories and weight and whatnot for longevity, plus like career-wise too, because I act, and not too many things you can get into when you're a 260-pound black dude with just all trap. Even white, like, it doesn't matter. You can be anything. 265 pounds is not. You get tight cast like crazy. So, yeah.
What is the best option to replace squatting with a bad lower back?
Squatting, leg press. Um, if you're trying to hit glutes, uh, like you do anything without back, without squatting. You can do leg extensions, you can do leg curls, and be fine, and just do that. And then you could do, I would say, if you can, you could probably do hack squat. I would say anything that keeps your back straight, pendulum squat. You know what I mean? I find a lot of times if you have back pain, doing like, you know, you know, spine loading exercise is the best thing, like spine free weight. So anything that kind of keeps your back in a good neutral position, which you can do on the hack squat, pendulum squat. You can also do leg press, leg extensions, and leg curls.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Is it cardio doing more than 5 reps?
Is what?
Is it cardio considered when you're doing more than 5 reps?
5 reps of cardio?
Of any? No. Like, I think
I'm
the
being
question
facetious.
is it considered more endurance training if it's over 5 reps?
Not even close. No. Endurance training would be like, I wouldn't even say reps. I would say like time. It'll be endurance if you're doing anything past a minute, right? I can do 30 reps in 10 seconds easily. That's not, so look at the total duration, right? Your strength training, your strength phasing would be like a 1 to 10-ish second type of time-wise, right? Because you're looking at like speed, power, explosiveness, right? And then you're looking at hypertrophy, it's like a 30 to 45 minute set. Endurance would be like a minute plus. Think of like CrossFit, exercise classes, where you're doing some resistance, but doing that over time.
Yes, Tony, this is a great gym. They even have a little like powerlifting section in the back. There's something for everybody here.
Oh yeah.
Can I do goblet squats in place of back squats until I'm able to make the depth with the back squat?
Of course.
Great idea.
Of 100%. I would do goblet squats until you max out. Here's the best chance you're gonna get, and Eric can attest to this. You do goblet squats until you can't do, like keep going until you get to the most amount of weight you can do. Because by the time you can hold 100 pounds like this,
Yep.
your torso, that's the biggest thing when it comes to like squatting. It's not necessarily people's legs that are the limiting factor. It's their strength in their core that prevents them from doing this. Because when most people squat in the bars in their back, they're like this, and their back does this, and they get down like doing this kind of stuff. So when you're doing goblet squats, you're literally you're not forcing, but you're training your body to stay in a nice neutral position, and then letting the weight depress your shoulders, your lats are engaged, right? Your lats are a torso stabilizer, right? Your lats, your core, and then being able to do the exercise. By the time you're weightlifting something extremely heavy here, by the time you start squatting, you'll be laughing.
I still go for goblet squats over back squats, and
Easy.
I can easily do.
And I'd be doing it and to be honest, same for me too, because I don't, at my age, and to be honest, when it comes to anybody, to be honest, like here's the thing for me, unless you're, like if you like back squatting, by all means, you got great hip flexion, dorsal flexion, all good stuff, like back squat. If your form's good, go ham, right? We don't have to load it too much. But like I would say on the grand scheme of just like keeping a nice straight neutral spine and getting to depth in it being something that you can kind of carry over to everything else in your life, I think goblet squatting is like the way to go. And you gotta think like squatting and stuff like that is don't think of it just as like a leg builder. Think of it as like when I'm older and I gotta go reach underneath a cabinet, I'm not kind of doing this thing where I'm like, I can just literally just kind of do this, open the door and get up, or like, I can get down here or get down on my legs and stand up fairly easy. And that's what we want to do. So think of that more. Think of functionality more than aesthetics. Think about functionality and then aesthetics being that byproduct of functionality.
Hey Johnny, what do you think of using a roll pad under the butt to go low on leg press?
Yes.
Yes.
Great idea. As long as they're stabilizing the spine, lower spine, that's exactly what we want that for. So yeah, for sure.
Johnny, do you have a video, or maybe you can explain the benefits of using a plate-loaded high row machine? What part of the back does it hit best?
A plate-loaded high row machine?
Like a high row.
Oh, high row, my bad. I think I was thinking high pull.
No, high row.
We have one in the other room.
One. Yeah, we'll go over there.
All right, let's go.
Oh, whoops.
Get silly.
A little overview of the gym.
So a couple options we have for high row. We have this guy here. Then we have this guy here. So I'll go with this one first. High row. Why I love a high row machine is because, well, number one, we get this shoulder extension, movement of the arm, right? Shoulder extension, shoulder adduction, all right? So from here, we get like a nice stretch. We can have the chest support that will stretch our lats, right? Now I'm letting my lats stretch by keep my shoulders down. So there's a difference between this and this, right? So I'm here and then keeping the chest up, I'm pulling down and getting all the way through, right? And I'm still getting a lot of that lower lat as well too. So it's getting me from all the way up here and then all the way pulling down, right? So I'm getting protraction, I'm getting the traps, rhomboids, rear delts, lats are being stretched, and then we're pulling chest up, rocking in, and we're contracting the scaps, and then pulling the rest down, open up, and then scaps here, right? So here, close scaps, we'll pin shoulder blades down, and then pulling, and then up, shoulder blades out. Then you're getting a really good stretch with this load. I like doing, it's a great exercise to do. If you want to do these rather than doing pull-ups, it's fine. This is the same similar machine. Only thing is, like, these are kind of funky because the angle on these are, the line of pull is super, super light. So this is good right from here, and I get a good stretch as well here too, unilateral, both unilateral, but I get a great stretch from here. The only problem with this is when people use machines like this, it gets lighter as I pull down. So right here, like my finger is holding it down, right? So there's zero, like there's nothing working. Even lower, like I can do this, right? So you can load up the weight on here and you'd be like, yeah. But if you look at the range of motion, there's a lot of people who do this at the end. They're like this and they're like, oh, and they're pulling down here. It's like, we're not really doing much. So machines like this, we want to make sure, or most machines, not at all machines, you want to make sure we keep our chest high. Keep this analogy in your head on all exercises. We don't want to pretend that there's a hook on our chest, like we're a marionette, right? You know, marionettes are like Pinocchio, right? Let's pretend we're all Pinocchio, and Pinocchio's got one hook on his chest that makes his chest do this. So we're in this position here, so when we're pulling, that chest stays up, that increases the range of motion, especially the stretch. So from here, my chest is still staying up and not rolling like this. So I want to be here. So when I pull, whether I'm this machine or that machine, pressing, pulling, rowing, my chest is always going to stay up like this.
We are at 63 minutes.
What?
At 63 minutes. Hold on, what do we got here? I'm gonna do a couple more. Johnny, is it key to bigger arms more about volume or weight, or is it about genetics?
Damn, it's about all of them. It's about all, but don't get stuck in the genetic part. With genetics do a couple of things. Genetics will determine how fast you can grow that muscle and what shape of that muscle is gonna look like, right? So like my bicep is, I have a Finn knows Phil Heath, obviously Phil Heath. Me and Phil Heath have the same similar bicep. We have a long bicep with a good peak, right? Arnold, my client, Taylor, Chris Bumstead, Kai Green had that arm where that bicep was rolled up here, right? We all can build muscle. Now, Chris Bumstead doesn't have good genetics to build bicep because his just don't grow as big, but he's got good, but he's also made the rest of the physique match, and he's actually made his biceps look better, right? So for yourself, then it becomes like how you're training it. I do believe that when it comes to like your arms, especially like any accessory work, like I would say secondary muscle work, like biceps, triceps, rear delts, or sorry, delts. There's something that you can use a lighter weight, not say lighter, but like a moderate weight. A moderate weight that I can like take for a long duration, like 45-second, and it's excruciating for 15 of those seconds, right? I look at that as being the best way to train biceps. But again, yeah, genetics will have say in how fast you grow them and what shape they are when you grow them.
Are you going to do a spotlight on Taylor or a feature workout with him now that he's got his pro card?
I've done a bunch. It's like he's always been here, man. Now everyone wants to see him. I'm joking. I will 100%. I've been coaching Taylor for 8 years. So, and I've done a bunch of it. You guys go on my wall. I've done videos with him for the last 8 years. Literally, they're all there. But I will definitely do more. Now that he's a pro, we're going to take off a couple years, and basically let his body recover, but then let him put on some proper size, because what's weird, as an amateur, you're 10 pounds, your cap as an amateur is 10 pounds below a pro. So now that we had to squeeze him in to 232. So he weighed in at 231 pounds, or even 231 on Friday. Now he needs to add 10 more pounds to actually like be competitive for his height and as a pro. So we're gonna put 10 more pounds on. I know exactly where we want those 10 pounds to go. Mainly forearm area, bicep, and his quad sweep. So we're putting together a plan to do just that, and I'll let you guys see that as it unfolds, for sure.
Good.
One more.
All right. Always appreciate the strong effort you make to educate us, Johnny. 2 questions. Is it better to use machines and free weights for hypertrophy? That's the first one.
I think a good mix of both. I think if anything that, like for instance, for me, I like doing like say Smith machine incline, and then I'll do like 50-degree incline Smith machine. I can load it a little more. I can really force the reps, and then I like doing dumbbell incline 30-degree because now I can get a better stretch overall. So I think that free weights more so in like the dumbbell area is a really good tools. I like doing a good mix of machine and dumbbell over machine and barbell, right? So if you're gonna say machine and barbell, I'm like, nah, barbells like they get in the way, right? If I'm trying to row or press, the bar gets in the way of pressing, my stomach gets in the way of pulling, a lot of things. So I would say like a good mix of dumbbells and machines is a key ingredient, or I say the best mix. Next one.
And the second one was, is the Smith machine better for hypertrophy?
I would say so. I'd say the Smith machine. I would say the Smith machine and machines in general, they help with hypertrophy because they're all good for hypertrophy. I just find that the machines give you a lot more. Like you can go further with them, right? Like you can't say you fail the full range, but you have like a good amount of partials left in you. Machines allow you to really hit your partials and stay in that same groove. Or like, barbells, eventually, like free weights will eventually, while you're pressing, and then all of a sudden you can't press anymore, you're stuck with it on your chest. Where like a Smith machine, you can rack it. A machine, you can just put it down, you're good to go. Even dumbbells, you can kind of just chuck them.
That's it.
That's it. Guys, appreciate you guys. If you guys want more in-depth coaching at an affordable cost, I hate saying cost, join my school group, guys. $25 a month. You guys get all the ebooks that I'm creating, all the hypertrophy workouts I'm creating. We have once a week Q&As, and then all week long, you guys are putting in your questions or your diets or your training, and then we're helping each other optimize those things. So check it out. Go to the link in the description below. The school community, join it. But until next time, guys, it is iron sharpens iron. Progressive overload your life. In the meantime, guys, keep you chasing.